With over 400 celebrity interviews and tons of pop culture nerdiness, Too Opinionated is a safe haven for your inner geek. Find us at meistercon.com or on YouTube under MeisterCon Pod. And please subscribe. It would really help us out. Thanks, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. I think I have a really good one for you this week. I have with me medium, animal communicator, cowgirl shaman, and now actress Terri Jay with me. So welcome, Terri.
Thanks. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
That's a lot of hats.
Yeah, it is. But it seems like you open just one little crack and then all the other abilities just come in.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, and I shortchanged you. I left a whole bunch of them out.
But that's okay. That's okay. I like to say I do everything intuitive except predictions and police work. Those are the only two things I won't do.
Yeah. That Powerball's up to about 600 million if you got a line on it.
Nope. I got no inside scoop.
I could hang up this podcasting.
Yeah. California is about 20 minutes from where I live. And so we go down there all the time to cross the state line and get those tickets.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. Somebody's got to win.
Yeah. And they have.
I always laugh at the ones that they're like, if I won $1 billion, I'd just keep on working. Like, what's the matter with you? No way.
I would. Oh, no. See, I love my work. The only thing that I would probably do more of is I do less readings and more writing. I love.
Well, okay, that's fair. I think I'd travel. I love podcasting. I've had the best time. I've met the best people, but I think I'd travel. I'm
a homebody. I like to stay home.
Oh, very nice.
Can't take my horses on the road, and I need my horse fix every day.
Yeah. When did you start dealing with horses? Is that something you've been doing your entire life?
Oh goodness, yes. I started riding when I was 9, and I've never looked back. Yeah. Yeah. And then I was a professional horse person my whole life. It wasn't like I had backyard horses and went trail riding. I did a horseback therapy program off and on for 35 years.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work, and it really sharpens your skills and your abilities too when you're doing that.
Yeah. I've never really been around horses, but always enjoyed horses.
They're just the best.
They really are. They're just very unique animals.
They're kind of like big dogs you can ride, but you have to remember they can hurt you. They can really hurt you. Yeah.
My wife has caught a stray hoof before. Growing up, she got too close to one and got got cracked in the side of the head, but she survived. Ouch. She was okay. Yeah, that stuff happens as you're growing up, unfortunately.
It does. I used to be off more than I was on when I was riding. Oh my goodness. I look at my body that needs replacement parts now, and it's like I didn't know the goal was to stay on the horse. I didn't realize that was the goal. No, I didn't get that memo.
Well, maybe you needed to do some rodeo work.
No, I did rodeo work without intending to do it, and I wasn't at a rodeo when I was doing the rodeo work. So
yeah, I mean, you should at least be trying to get paid if you're going to get thrown off.
Well, yeah, you'd think. Oh.
So Terri, let's start this way because we have to talk about Paul T. Goldman. But before we do that, introduce yourself a little bit. Talk a little bit about when you figured out that you had some abilities that you could use to help people. Talk a little bit about just yourself growing up and what it is that you do.
Well, growing up, I was just into horses, and I just wanted to try to figure out how to make a living with it, because the horse industry was so huge. I mean, it was hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And so each person only needs a little tiny bit of that to make a living. And I tried everything. Oh, I did everything. And then I really wanted to be a special education teacher, but it was before they'd passed that law that said every child had to have an education. It was like right around that same time. And so when somebody approached me to give riding lessons to their handicapped daughter, I thought, I could do this. And then it was like, oh, nirvana. I had a purpose. So I did that off and on for 35 years as a nonprofit, and
Awesome.
it had it was very difficult to raise money. And then in 1990, when I was doing it, I picked a kid up out of his wheelchair and I put him on the back of one of my horses, and he said, "Ouch, I have a cramp in my hip." And I looked at him and I said, "You have a cramp? Well, here, sit this way, it'll take the cramp out." And
Yeah.
he said, "Hey, you can hear me." And I said, "Well, of course I can hear you." It didn't dawn on me at the time he wasn't talking out loud. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah. So, we just went through our routine that we did, because we did vaulting, and I took him off the horse, and we were just carrying on a conversation about school and school play and his little girlfriend and just all kinds of stuff. And I put him back in his wheelchair. He went back to class, and the gal that was helping me, she said, "Boy, he's sure talking great." And I didn't get the sarcasm. And I said, "Well, he's very bright. Just because he has cerebral palsy doesn't necessarily mean he's got any
Right.
cognitive issues." She looked at me, she goes, "Terry, he didn't say a word he can't, remember?" And I always joke, I would have, if I was a horse, I would have done a butt fart snort, because they do all three of those things at one time when they're spooked, and I was spooked. So
Yeah, I
I
bet.
went into the classroom, and they put this band around his head with a pointer, and he had typed out on his computer, "Horse lady can hear me."
Wow.
Yeah, so I had confirmation right then and there. And then I stood there talking to him and was realizing I was hearing telepathic communication. So
Yeah, that would, I think if that happened to me, it would freak me out, at least initially.
it did. It
I
freaked me
would,
out. It did.
yeah, I would. I'd be, I'm not sure what I would do, that, because that's not something you would expect.
No, no. And I'm a cowgirl. I'm out there shoveling manure every morning. I am as down to earth as they come. And this
Yeah.
was like woo woo stuff. And I wasn't going for it. But I went back outside, and the gal goes, and I told her what happened in the classroom. And she said, "Well," it's so matter of fact, she goes, "Well, you ought to learn to communicate with the horses, because all animals are telepathic." And I went, "Okay, that's what I'm going to do,
All
and learn to
right.
communicate with the horses." And that was my start. And everything else just sort of branched off from that. I'd do a reading on somebody's horse, and I'd say, "You have a grandfather that died. He's right behind you, and he just wants you to know he loves you, and he's still with you." And of course, then the tears would start, and they'd get all upset, and they'd go, "I thought you just did horses," and because all this other stuff would come out. And it just evolved. It just
Well, I
evolved.
could see once that started, it was probably like an avalanche, because it probably just kept adding more and more, as you kind of figured it out and got used to what was happening. I could see where it could get pretty busy.
I think I would liken it more to a leaky faucet, just drip,
Yeah.
drip, and here comes something else, and then here comes something else. So it
Yeah.
didn't all kind. I tell people that they so want to do this work, and I love teaching it, and that's why I've got 3 books about how to do it.
Yeah.
And I have people that say, I wish I was at your level and expertise." I said, "Listen, if you woke up with all these abilities at one time, they'd put you in the nut house. They would. It's too much unless you're in control of it. It's just too
Yeah.
much."
But you
It
actually
is.
help other people that show some of the ability. You help coach them on that.
Well, everybody's got these abilities. That's the bizarre part. I mean, unless you have serious cognitive problems, everybody's got these abilities. We're all born with intuition, clairvoyance, clairsentience,
Yeah.
clairaudience, and claircognizance. We all have all of it. And clair just means clear. So we have clear knowing, clear seeing, clear feeling, and what I forget, clear hearing. Yeah, we all have all of that. It's people always say, "I hear voices in my head," and I go, "Yeah. Is that a bad thing?" Unless they're telling you to kill, unless they're telling you to kill people, that would be bad.
I was
But
gonna say it depends on what they're saying, I guess.
right, it's pretty crowded in there. There's conversations going on all the time. I have people that get readings, and they go, "Where do we start?" I go, "Okay, I just walked into a bar. It's your bar. It's happy hour. So tell me what conversation to listen to, because I am so overwhelmed with information when I tune into somebody." So I usually start with
Oh
questions, and they
yeah,
ask me
yeah. I guess
questions.
that's true. But are you able to shield, or to filter out the parts that you don't really need?
Yeah, if I'm doing a reading, yeah, but out in public, no, that's I don't
Yeah,
make
what
eye
do you do with that?
contact.
No wonder you like to stay at home.
Yes, I don't make eye contact with people. If I make eye contact, I know everything about them. I can spot a pedophile at 50 paces.
Gosh.
I can
Yeah.
tell, when somebody just had sex. I mean, you don't need that information. I can tell if they're dying. I can tell if they've got liver problems.
No, that's
I can
overwhelming.
tell if they've got addictions. I mean, I can just keep going. You don't need that information. And there's so many times my guides will go, look, and they're pointing to somebody and I go, okay. And they'll go, look, and I'll go, oh yeah, his liver looks really awful. And I go, and what am I supposed to do with the information? We just want you to know. That's what they tell me. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Well, we only use what, 10% of our brain,
Yeah.
most of us.
Unless you're
With
Lucy.
that. Yeah, right.
Unless you're Lucy.
But that leaves a lot of room there. If
Yeah.
you could unlock even an extra percent or two, it's hard to tell what we could do. And that's what I kind of look at what you do, is you're just using more of your brain than most of us.
I would hope so. I would hope that that's the explanation for it, not that I'm wacko. No, because I help people. I mean, that's all I've ever wanted to do is help people. And it's amazing what comes through. I just worked with somebody that's got Crohn's, and I said, well, that's the childhood abuse. What? That's your childhood abuse. That's what causes Crohn's.
Yeah. Oh, that brings. I wanted to ask you: is that what you talk about with stuck energy?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, explain that a little bit.
Well, we're 99% energy and only 1% physical. So
yeah, okay.
Allopathic medicine has drugs and surgery. That's all it's got. And I mean, this country is run by the drug companies. It is. Yeah. If you're not prescribing a drug, they don't want to have anything to do with you. And they'll even try and shut you down. And so 99% of us is energy. So unless you need a trauma surgeon, because you've just been in a wreck somewhere,
right?
Energy healing should be the go-to number one thing first when you get a problem. That should be your first thing. So
how does that work? So, if you've got whatever it is, a pain in your back or your neck or something like that, and you haven't really been able to determine anything physically wrong, could that be stuck energy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
how do you fix that?
Go to the chiropractor, but
well, right. But how would you fix that? What's the process to get it unstuck?
Well, it depends on where it is in your body. Let's say neck. Neck is going to be throat chakra. That's the throat energy.
Okay.
Center, right. And so the throat energy center is from not speaking your truth. That's why people have all kinds of thyroid problems, the Hashimoto's and Graves'. That's all from not speaking your truth. Now, it doesn't mean you're a liar, but maybe you're not being truthful with yourself about what's going on in your life. And maybe there's somebody you really needed to tell off and they've died. And now you just think, well, I just can never tell them off. Yes, you can. You write them a letter, you tell them off, you burn it. So that's throat issues. Even carotid artery stuff is from not speaking your truth, if that sounds weird. So
well, it sounds a little weird, but it actually kind of makes sense too.
It has to
because just think of how you are when you get really upset about something. It's almost like you're physically sick.
Oh God, yeah.
You get really upset. So that makes sense to me. If you have something kind of weighing on you and you haven't identified it, I could see where that could cause you some physical problems.
Well, here's the thing. Think about this. We all know how we physically feel when we first fall in love. Oh my God, we feel lighter than air. Our whole body is all tingly and happy. And that's the one extreme, is when we've first fallen in love. The other extreme is when we're grieving. We feel like we have cement shoes on. Every step hurts. We don't want to move our body because we've told all our cells, hey, we're grieving. So you guys just hurt like crazy. Participate. And that's really what happens. And so our cells respond to emotions. And I don't know why this is so hard for people to get. They're looking for, drugs or surgery, and that's it. And they don't want to dig into their stuff. It's too painful. And that's the way to get rid of it. I have clients that were terminal. They were terminal. And through energy
Really?
healing, they're still here 15 years later. No
Well,
problem.
is it just a matter of addressing whatever it is causing the block?
Yeah,
Or is there
and
actually,
releasing it.
yeah,
Releasing
well,
it.
yeah, how do you release it? Is it just talking about it?
We have ways of making you release it. No, seriously. I have energy healing instructions that I'll give to anybody who emails me. I send them
I
out.
think that's really interesting. I could see where say the medical profession or the drug profession would not want you to seek that type of help
No,
because that
no,
doesn't benefit them at all.
no. And it's I crack up because it's like, okay, you take this drug. Okay, now take this drug for the side effects of that drug. Now take this drug for the side effects of that drug, and then take
Yeah.
this drug for the side effects of that. And oh my
Well, that's
goodness,
what you
really?
see. If you never see somebody taking one pill,
No,
they're taking like a whole, bag full
yeah,
of them.
right, right. So I think energy healing really is the wave of the future because I think people are just getting sick and disgusted by what allopathic medicine offers. It's not much. Yeah, it can be life-saving stuff, and I'm never going to diss it, but we need an adjunct to it. And the adjunct
Right.
to allopathic medicine must be energy healing. I feel very passionately about it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
did I also see that this works in other ways for you as well? Because I know you do some work with other animals besides horses, but I
Oh, I
thought
do
I
all
read something.
animals.
Yeah,
I do
all
all
animals.
animals.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought
Oh,
I read
yeah.
something too where you were able to like help with car problems.
Oh, I know. Those are weird things that I do. You know, somebody
Yeah.
go, my truck's broke, and I'll go, it's the TPS. What? Yeah. Throttle position sensor. And they go, okay. And then of course they tell the mechanic what it is. The mechanic they always go, let me just diagnose the vehicle, okay? And then they
Yeah.
go, how did you know it was a throttle position sensor? So I've had that happen. I've helped somebody with code writing. That was weird because I was
Yeah.
using
How did that
words.
work?
Oh my God. It was just a friend of mine who's a code writer. And she
Yeah.
said, I'm really stuck on this thing. Can you help me go through it? And so she'd start reading off the code and I go, whoa, whoa, stop there. You need an integer there. And she'd go, a what? And integer? What is that? And like, I don't know what that is. And I would
Yeah.
just tell her. And
I'm
she'd
just
go,
telling you what you need.
and she'd go, oh my goodness, I fixed it. It's like, I don't know what I just said. So that stuff does happen and it's fun. It's really fun to do that. I do I do map dowsing so I can find gold and water on maps.
Yeah.
People will tell me what
I
their
like
claim
that. You're
is.
like a treasure hunter.
Like a metal detector without the equipment. I just do it on the maps. It's pretty fun. I have a friend who's got big chunks of gold, and her favorite thing is to put the chunk in my hand and go, "Where's this one from?" And I go, "Oh, that one's from China. How'd you get one from China?" And then just put another one. Oh, that one feels like Australia. And she goes, "How can you tell?" Because they vibrate differently. They have a different vibration.
That is
So it's pretty
amazing.
fun. Yeah, but
How did
anybody can learn to do it.
see? It's just hard for me to fathom that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Think about this, sweetie pie. Everything is physics, energy,
Yeah.
frequency, vibration. So when you do this work, you're working on so many different levels. And you can't even pay attention to what level you're on or what you're focused on or
Right.
anything like that. You're just on lots of different levels. And you can just switch back and forth all the time. And it's really fun. I love doing it. Every reading for me is like opening a Christmas present. It really is.
Well, I could see that. I could see where it could be. It would be a lifelong work, basically, is what
Yeah,
you're doing.
yeah. I
With
really
that.
would like to have my own show so that I can not only take the woo-woo out of this and
Yeah.
base it in physics so that people don't get duped by irresponsible and charlatan kind of people that do this work. It's horrible.
Well, and
And
that has to be upsetting for you and those that are doing it with a positive
well, and with that
outcome
thing
in
called
mind.
ethics.
Yeah, I mean
Those
that has to be upsetting because that's what when you say medium or psychic or what
Yeah, I
that's
don't use
kind
the
of
P
what you
word.
end up thinking about. You think of these people that are out there, they're charlatans, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. But here's the thing that really frosts my pumpkin is that there's a lot of mediums that don't use physics. And so what happens when somebody dies, everything negative gets shed off. Pain, suffering, unfinished business, regrets,
Okay.
all that garbage gets shed off and left behind in the earthly realm. Now, everything positive, all the happy stuff goes with them to the other side. And it's why people on the other side can't be guides either. They don't become your guides or your guardian angels or anything. Angels are a whole nother species altogether. But they can't become your guides because they can't perceive anything negative in your life here in the earthly realm. They can't perceive anything negative in the earthly realm. They're there for every
Yeah, because if they
graduation.
can perceive it, then they're going to have some negativity in their lives.
Well, then it wouldn't be heaven. It wouldn't be just peace
right.
and love and rock and roll. It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
So, but what frosts my pumpkin really bad is when you have mediums that don't have discernment. They've got to have discernment. They have to be able to tell the difference between positive and negative energy. So if you tune into the negative energy, it looks like, feels like, and sounds like the deceased. So they will share that information as if it is how the dead person is on the other side. It's not. They're dumpster diving. They're dumpster diving when they do that. Yeah. Oh God.
Well, yeah, and that's probably upsetting for the family.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. And you've got other professional mediums that have written books about, having unfinished business or regrets, and I'm thinking, what are you guys doing? You're dumpster diving, because everybody that goes to the other side is absolutely 100% fine, and they're perfect, and they all look really good. They look like they're 20.
Well, so does that mean that we don't have spirits that stick around?
Oh, that's such a good question. The way it is we have a tendency to think linear. Person A dies, goes to the other side, is no longer in the earthly realm, right?
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
So person A dies, goes to the other side, hangs out with you in non-physical form as they were, but just all their happy stuff. And that same person A can go and reincarnate into person B. It's all of the above. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is kind of cool. Well, and I know that you've talked about that. That's possible for pets or animals as well.
Oh my goodness. Michael, our pets come back as soon as we allow for it. They will do a walk. If you lose your dog on Tuesday and Thursday, you go to the shelter and pick out a new dog, a puppy. That dog that passed is going to jump into that new physical form to stay with you in the physical. They do that all the time. It's called a walk-in.
Yeah, I thought that part I thought was really neat. I'm not the biggest animal lover, but my kids are. My son loves dogs, my daughter loves cats, and I think that they would find that very comforting. Yeah,
because and I get a little perturbed sometimes with some of my clients because they're preventing or they're trapping that animal spirit in a body that's painful and doesn't work anymore. And whereas if they would euthanize that animal, that spirit could then go find a new physical form that's young and healthy and come right back. And so they're preventing that. I think that's
pretty interesting, because we've all, I think, probably been there where you've got that older pet or animal and they're suffering, but it's so difficult to let them go.
Oh, I know. And euthanasia is so good for them. They go to sleep for 10 to 90 seconds. Their energy pops out of their body. They kind of do the wet dog shake, like, oh, that felt weird. And then they just take off running with the zoomies. They just do. They get the zoomies again. So
that's pretty awesome. They really should give you your own show.
They should.
I think that would be really interesting.
They should. And the reason I wanted to is that I've been doing so many readings since the series came out. I mean, I'm slammed, right? And I go to do a reading and I go, didn't I just do this one? Did I talk to this person already? Because it's the same issues. Same freaking issues.
Well, it's because we all have the same problems.
Yes. So this can really help because a lot of the information that I give for one person can definitely apply to multiple people, maybe even thousands of people, especially health issues, finances. People
Yeah.
get into financial problems and don't realize it's their self-esteem and their belief system that's preventing them from having what they want.
Yeah, it's amazing. So when you're reading somebody or you're looking at somebody, how do you what differentiates the different issues? How do you know if it's a financial issue or heartache or physical pain? How do you know the differences in
I
those
just
things?
ask, how can I help? And as soon as they start talking, I've got that energetic connection to them because I give them unconditional love. That's the
Yeah.
most powerful energy in the universe. And so when I give them unconditional love and they start talking about their issues or what they want help with, I'm guided to what the issue is. And then if we've got that handled, then it's like the other stuff starts becoming apparent.
Okay.
That
Yeah, that kind of
yeah,
makes sense to me. Well,
yeah.
have
And then
you
we're
ever been working with someone and run into something that's a little more on the frightening side?
never,
Okay,
never,
that's good to
never.
hear
Oh my goodness, no, no. A
because we
couple
always
crazy
go
people.
down that path, right? That's
I
what the
know.
movies and the books and everything are about. Is kind of
It's
it's a negative type of situation.
no. And the thing is too, is that when you have a really high vibration, and God, please don't think that's coming from ego. It's coming from work. I've worked to get my vibration this high. And so when I tune in and have and carry that high vibration all the time, it's like nothing negative can bother you or influence you or anything. It's just like,
Gotcha.
you
Yeah,
know,
gotcha. Do
it's
you?
it's like you're impervious to it.
Well, that makes sense to me. But you're
Yeah.
not able to you can't shut it down, right? Like with
No,
you can't turn it off and
no.
like say, I need a
Sleep.
good night's sleep, so I'm going to turn all this
No,
off.
no. When I sleep, I'm off. I'm off when I
Okay.
sleep. That's the only time. But I do teach people when they're, taking my books or my courses, how to have an on and off switch. They really need to have one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't even listen to music, ever.
Really?
And yeah, really, it's like the last straw. It's overwhelming. So I never listen to music. And
Why is
it's
that? Is that because there's so much emotion that kind of goes into making music? Is that what causes
it,
the issue?
the only way I can describe it is it feels like the last straw. Like, oh God, now I'm overwhelmed. Turn it off. Turn it off.
Yeah.
I just get overwhelmed by it. So, and the other thing too that I've noticed is that if I hear any kind of song, even like something that's on a commercial, it gets stuck in my head and I can't get rid of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do in those cases?
Try to pick a different song, listen to it for 30
Well,
seconds
it's
and
very similar to what the rest of us do.
reprogram my
Yeah,
brain.
you got to get something to
Yeah.
knock it out of your head.
Yeah, that's about it. But that's a detriment. And there's so many places that play music all the time, and so I can't
Yeah.
go. I don't go. I can't go out. If I go someplace and the music's too loud, I will ask them to please turn it down. And
Yeah, yeah.
they're
Well, I
very
can see why.
accommodating. They're very
Yeah,
accommodating.
I can see why. So,
Yeah.
so let's talk a little bit about Paul T. Goldman. This is the strangest show, but it's really good. It's got a great cast, and it's
Oh
it's really
God,
good. But
yeah. They got
yeah,
some
I
really
know,
good people.
loaded.
Really good people. I
We
only got
had
to I only
D
got to meet
on the show
yeah.
last week.
I got to meet Dee, and of course she plays me, which is such an honor. And it's so cool because she's all into energy healing and stuff.
I know that's
So,
like when I was talking to her, I was like, "Well, this is a good match."
and yeah,
Could
no
see why that
kidding.
worked out.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And who else did I meet? I got to meet the gal who played Audrey, Melinda. Yeah,
Oh
Melinda.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God, she was so fun. I got when we were at the premiere, I said, I have a new name for you. And she goes, what? I said, we're gonna call you a slut muffin. And she thought that was so cute. She was laughing, and then she goes, she says, if only I wish. She's so cute. I just love her. She's
Yeah,
such a good
it's
actress.
got a surprisingly good cast
Yeah.
because like it's I mean it's a show, but it's based on truth So it's kind of a documentary. I mean, how would you describe it? It's very strange.
I think Paul said it best. He called it a docudramedy because it's a documentary and a documentary and a drama and a comedy. So docudramedy is probably the best way to describe it. And my friends have asked me, they said, how would you describe it? I said, it's a show about making a show about making a show. That's how I describe it. It's crazy. It's
so
really
how did you and Paul meet?
Well, I had originally done a reading for Paul in the late 2000, like 2003 or something. I did a reading on his dog. His dog ran off. And so he thought about me when he was having trouble with his wife, because he knew I did everything, besides find lost pets.
Right.
And so I did the original reading for him back in 2005. Wow. And I said, now you need to keep track of all of this, and you need to do a book. And he said, really? And I said, oh yeah, this is going to get weird. So he did the book, and then he turned it into a screenplay, and then he was able to, get Jason interested in it. And now it's a series. So that's how I was involved in it. And he asked, if he could record the readings that I did for him, which I did. And it was pretty interesting. My heart just went out to him with what he was going through. It's just horrible. But, he made lemon meringue pie out of the lemons.
Well, he did. And I think it's so interesting that he's starring in the show.
Yep.
Normally you would think he would have got somebody to play him, but he's just playing himself.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the draw to the show itself, is that I don't think that's been done before, really. I played me.
Well, that's why I said you're in the show.
Yeah.
But at some points, Dee Wallace plays you.
Yeah.
At other points, you're playing yourself.
Right. I'm in the documentary part, and she plays me in the drama part.
Yeah.
So, and they couldn't have picked anybody better. The only thing that I tease her about is, where did they get those clothes? Goodwill? I mean, because at that time, in like 2005, I wore shirts, T-shirts that had horses all over them. Of course I would wear that, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I don't know where they got that stuff they put on her. It's like, are you serious? I could have sent my
artistic
shirts.
License.
I guess I could have sent her my shirts to wear, they were with the horses all over them. But anyway, that's all we have to complain about. That's not too bad.
Well, she says she had a blast.
Oh yeah, she's so fun. She's real, and
she really is, and she's got so much energy.
Oh yeah. Well, she does the same work. She does energy healing, which is it's so fun to find that out about her. And look at all the series that she's still in now. She's still doing stuff. So
I think I don't want to give her age, but she's somewhere in that 70s type of range, but she seems much younger.
She does.
Yeah.
I'm hitting the 70 on Sunday.
Congratulations. Ooh. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I feel like I'm 20. I'm just full of piss and vinegar. I really am.
I mean, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah,
it's
but the body goes, no. The body goes, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah. I know that. I have that same issue. You wake up and you're like, I'm going to do this today. And your body's just like, no, you're not.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I am grateful I'm still riding. I'm still riding my horses. And I'm so grateful that I can still do that. And oh my goodness,
have you ever fallen off of one? You ever gotten hurt?
Like how many times? Oh my God. That's why I'm so broke up right now, because I thought I was a bronc rider and I wasn't. No rodeo, just training horses.
I can't believe you rode horses that actually need to be broke. That's
I trained horses in my 20s. Oh, absolutely. Wow. I trained horses that hadn't even been started. So I was stupid. That's what I was.
That's hard work.
Not if you do it right. Establishing communication.
Well, but back then, did you know all of that stuff, or were you thinking, I'm just riding a horse?
I think the worst damage I did to my body was when I was a teenager, because I was off more than I was on. My balance was horrible. I had horrible riding instructors that they didn't even know to stand behind me and see that I was off to the side at 4 inches. just not having good coaching at that age. And so I really fell off a lot. I did. And you don't bounce good when you get to be my age.
No, I know. Or mine.
Yeah.
That's
So
the falls take much longer to recover from.
well, it's not the fall, it's that sudden stop when you hit the ground. That's what gets you.
Yeah, you're
The
exactly.
fall is fine. You're flying, right? That sudden stop that'll get you. It will.
Yeah. So is the series, is it more of like a limited series, or is this something we can expect other seasons for?
Well, I am hoping that somebody grabs up the Chronicles where, Paul's now the superhero. I'm hoping for him that someone grabs up the Chronicles. But as far as this series, Paul T. Goldman, that's it. It's, there's 6 episodes and that's it. So, that's all that's going to happen with that. But
It's
just
very bingeable.
Is it? Yeah. I just watched the 3
it's
episodes.
very it's really well done, but it catches your attention. It's hard to stop watching.
Oh, yeah. Well,
because you don't know where it's going. It's so strange. Don't.
No, it really took a lot of turns. And so I'm just glad that I got to be in it, and I'm glad I could help. And I'm honored that Dee got to play me. Oh my goodness. That was just, it's like, Dee Wallace. Oh my goodness. They couldn't have gotten anybody better.
I know. I don't know who I would want to play me, but I doubt it would be somebody as famous as Dee.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
when they told me I wasn't going to play myself, I could not be more relieved. It was like, because I can't run lines. I just cannot run.
I'd be the same way.
Oh my Lord. This is my stuff and I couldn't remember it. So I'm just really,
I think that people don't say that, but I think that acting, when you're acting as yourself, is almost just as hard.
Oh gosh,
because it's very difficult to just be natural if you're paying attention to it.
Yeah.
If you're being yourself, you're not paying attention to it. You're just yourself.
Right.
But if somebody says, I need you to act this out, it's already happened to you. So you should be able to do it. That's hard.
It would be hard. And there's been some times when I've done, my pilot and my sizzle reel and those kinds of things where people say, can you say that again, only louder, or can you have more inflection in it? And I was like, what did I say? What did I just say? Oh, that stuff is but the rest of the time when I'm doing readings, I don't shut up. I really don't shut up. So like, I feel like a motor mouth.
What's a typical day for you? Are you pretty much going all day long doing something?
Absolutely. I get up and get outside, grab some coffee, get outside, clean stalls, feed horses. Wow. And take care of them if they need something special, get back inside, try to warm up now. Oh my goodness, it was 14 this morning. And then I usually start readings about 9 to do readings 9 to noon. Take a break in the middle of the day, run errands, do appointments, that kind of thing. And then I start back in at 4 o'clock, more readings, and usually get done about 8 o'clock. Yeah. Now,
are you doing those readings? Like, are you doing them by Zoom?
No, I do everything by phone. It's really weird, but and this is one of the conflicts that I see with doing the show, in person instead of doing it by Zoom, is that, the animals are going to be there when I just start with the animals.
Right.
And if I go to read a horse, I'll go, okay, there's the horse, and turn my back to the horse, be 50 feet away and turn my back. And I know people are going to, because I don't want to read the physical. And when you're a horse person and you've been a horse person your whole life, you're going to look at conformation. You're going to look for injuries. You're going to look for body condition. You're going to be looking at all those things that you do automatically anytime you see a horse. You're just going down that checklist.
Yeah.
And so I want to read the horse energetically and see how the horse feels. I talked to a horse the other day where they're thinking of putting this horse down, and the horse said, I'm fine. I'm good. What about your pain? It's okay. What about having to lay down all the time? It's great. So, it gave them pause because the horse is being medicated. It's just being a lazy butt. They even put the hay in front of its face, and the horse is not ready to go. So that was really interesting to feel in, because they're thinking they need to put the
That's
horse
neat.
down, and the horse like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I guess I assume you would have to be in proximity with somebody
no.
in order to read them. But if you're doing it by phone, that's really interesting.
Yeah, because I think I have a clearer connection if I'm not distracted by the physical.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I know that sounds weird, and of course I can do them in person, but most of the time, like if I'm trying to read a horse or a dog or something, I'm going to have my back to them, because that way I can pick up instead of looking at the physical and making judgment.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Has law enforcement ever approached you for help?
Oh, I got in trouble doing that. I won't do police work at all, because I got in trouble. I went to my chiropractor one time and he said, "Hey, are you getting anything on that, double homicide?" And I went, And I started going blah, 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 blah. And I told him all these details that I picked up. And he said, "Okay." I get home and there's a sheriff.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was best friends with the adult children of the people who had gotten murdered.
Yeah.
And he had told them everything I knew. And so I was the suspect. Because all of the
I guess you would be, because you had this information.
Oh, I had way too many details. So I worked on that case a while, but it makes me physically ill to do any kind of police work. Yeah, so I just won't do it.
Yeah, it'd be hard. Well, what do you do? Like
is.
if you're passing somebody on the street and you catch something that maybe isn't the best for them, do you let them know?
No, absolutely not. One of the things that I teach, in my books and in my courses is ethics. You've got to have impeccable ethics. And ambushing someone with a reading is a big no-no. You never ambush somebody.
Yeah, I would think that most of the time, even if you're trying to help, that wouldn't go very well.
No.
If somebody's not prepared for
it. You don't know if that person isn't going to go home and kill themselves because of what you just said.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And so ambushing people with readings is really bad. I mean, it's one of the worst things you can do. Do I get stuff when I'm out? All the time. All the time. I'm overwhelmed. That's why I look like I have poor self-esteem, because my eyes are down and I'm not looking up. I don't want to look at anybody. I've had friends ram my grocery cart in the grocery store because I wasn't paying attention, even to them. I'm like, got blinders on, just looking at what I'm doing. And they go, "What are you doing, sleeping?" And I go, "No, I can't look up. You know that." "Oh, that's right."
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I mean, have you had situations where you've been maybe in danger or something bad could be happening and been able to avoid that? Or is that not really
it's usually in traffic. It's usually in traffic. And I drive my poor husband nuts. Oh, the poor guy. Because I go, "Watch that guy over there. He's texting. Watch him." And you go, "How do you know he's texting?" And of course, they swerve toward us, and I go, "Gee, I wonder how I knew that." So.
Well, how does he handle all of this that you have going on? Because it's a lot for you, but you've kind of accepted that. But how does he handle?
He knew what he was getting in for. He did.
We all do.
Well, he's my middle school boyfriend, and our parents broke us up because of religious differences.
Yeah.
And when he was getting a divorce, he was living in Florida. When he was getting a divorce, he found me. He found me on Facebook. But the funny thing is the first time we talked, I didn't know it was my Jed, because his legal name is Jay. Yeah. And so it was really funny, because I thought, well, maybe he's a brother to, my Jed or something. He knew my Jed, something.
Yeah.
And so that part I didn't get. So I ripped him a new one. I really did. He was morbidly obese and diabetic and so unhealthy. I said, "What are you doing? Sitting around waiting to die?" And so then he texted me, "I used to go by Jed." And it was like, "My Jed? Oh my goodness." And it sort of totally changed the whole theme of the whole thing. And so,
well, he hung in there, so you didn't drive him off.
No, I didn't. And I got him here, got him healthy using holistic approaches. And so he's dropped 160 pounds. He's doing great. Yeah. Yeah, so he's great. He puts up with me.
That's
But
pretty good. So you've
yeah.
whatever he had blocking stuff, you took care of that.
Yeah, and he was adopted, so we had to work on that stuff. And you can't make somebody else. I suggested that he write his birth mother, which he did. And I suggested that he find his father by doing DNA testing. He's
Yeah.
got like 13 brothers and sisters on his dad's side. So here how he felt like this isolated orphan. And now it's like, oh, my brothers and sisters, he's surrounded by family. He's got
That's
tons of them,
great.
and he's on social media with them all the time. So I think, it really helped heal him. It really did.
Yeah. Do you have contact with other people that have similar abilities?
No, I don't. Only a few friends that I've trained. So I
Yeah.
can ask them if I'm not clear on something. I go, hey, can you check a read for me? And they'll look at it
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. Is that
So
intentional that you avoid people that kind of do that same type of thing, or is that just
no,
kind of
because
circumstance?
first I'm a cowgirl. I mean, seriously, first I'm a cowgirl.
Yeah.
I'm into horses. That's my love. That's my passion. And this is just work. I mean, it does help people.
Yeah.
It has value, but this is what I do. And the other thing too is that you get to where when you really start reading your friends, you kind of get this feeling like, oh, I didn't know that about them, because when you really dig into it, you think, oh, that's not nice. Like
Well,
a
yeah, I
friend.
think I would. I don't know that if we were real close, if I'd want you to read me because I'd be worried. I was like, what if she finds out something that she doesn't like about me?
Well, I'm not judgmental at all, really. I'm very, very
Yeah, I
accepting.
think
I,
it'd be
I have to
difficult
be.
to be if you were judgmental. I don't think it would work very well.
No, it wouldn't. That's not my job. My job is not to judge. But there's been some times where I thought, they're not really my friend. Where you get that feeling
Yeah, yeah,
and you just think, okay. And and I think COVID sort of got rid of the negative chaff, so to speak, about that.
yeah.
But I have a great support system, and I just love doing my work. I love it.
I think that's terrific. Well, Terri, this has been wonderful. I knew it would be. I'm so interested in what you do, and the show is terrific. It's weird,
It
and
is
it's a
weird.
little bit funny, and it's got great acting in it. It's really good, really
It was
good.
really, really an honor to be a part of it. And
Yeah, oh, I'm sure.
I'm
What
just
did you
hoping it.
think when Paul told you that they were going to do a show? What did you think about that?
Well, I knew he wanted to do a show, and when they came here in 2017, I figured that would be it,
Yeah.
and it would be done. And here we are all these years later, and it's finally done.
Wow.
It took a long time. The funny part is the whole time, all these years, I've still been working at trying to get my own show. And if somebody would have told me, oh no, Paul's going to have his show first, I think I would have given up.
Well,
I
I'm
really would
rooting
have given
for you because I'd watch it. I
Yeah.
think what the things that you talk about and what you do is so interesting
Thank you.
with
I just
that.
got to
Yes.
find right now. I got to find a good agent that can pitch. That
There
can
you go.
pitch unscripted, and I'll be set. So I'm manifesting that now. I'm going to
That's right.
manifest
Well, that's
that.
what you have to do. You got to put it out
Yes,
there.
absolutely. But I think it'll be great because there aren't any shows that do animal communication anywhere. There's no animal communication shows. And so
No,
if we start with that and then pivot to the humans, who
there used
knows
to be,
what's going to
you used to
happen?
see some like dog
Oh,
whisperer type of shows, but
that he's not a dog whisperer. I've seen him take dogs that had incredible pain, and the pain made them aggressive. And I've seen him pin those dogs on their back for
yeah,
being aggressive. And it's like, excuse me, that dog needs a chiropractor.
yeah, he's
That's
just
what the
in
problem
pain.
is. Yeah, because unless you're looking at the medical causes intuitively of why a dog becomes aggressive, you're missing 90% of the problem.
Well, yeah, we all get cranky when we're hurting.
No kidding. No kidding. Present company included.
Yeah, yeah, for
Really.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, Terri, a couple of things before we wrap up. Anything that you're working on currently that we can keep an eye out for?
Well, if anybody wants to learn to do this, please go to my website and get the books. And the method is the same in all 3 books. The first one, the Cowgirl Shaman Way, will teach you how to do everything I do. Intuitive communication is for first responders, medical personnel, and caregivers to learn how to communicate with people that can't. And then the one that I got out last year I'm so proud of, really, is called The Physics of Mediumship. And it takes all the woo-woo out of it.
Yeah, I love that.
And the one I'm working on now is a dog communication book. So I'll do that one, then horses, then cats, and then I got 2 novels that turn out.
That's amazing. So you've got it all mapped out. It's just a matter of getting pen to paper.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love to write. Oh God, I just love to write. It's exhausting, but I love to do it.
That's right. It
know,
is tiring.
People say they've got writer's block, and it's like, what's that? No, I got lots of books in me.
You've got a really good website. It's very easy to move around on it. You know, not all websites are, but that's pretty important if you want people to come and visit.
Yeah, you can book a reading. I'm in charge of the scheduling. So once somebody pays or makes contact, then I send them the schedule, because my schedule is just so crazy. There's no way I could have a schedule up and have people pick on it from a website.
That makes sense.
It's too crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so, that'd be tough. So okay, so Terri, what's the website and where can we find you on social media?
It's www.terrijay.com, TerriJay.com. That's my website. You can go to the readings page if you want to schedule and fill out the form, and then I'll get back to you, usually within hours. And on social media, all the contacts for social media are on my website. Imagine that.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's a really good website.
Thank you. I just had it all redone. Anyway, I'm mostly on Facebook, and if you just do Terri Jay, I don't respond too much to the Terri Jay Cowgirl Shaman page, just because one's enough for me to handle.
That's right. You're getting enough.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. There's only so much time in a day.
Right. But I do love it. I love some of the stuff on there. So silly. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, when you get your own show, and I'm sure you will at some point, you got to come back.
So absolutely. Anytime. You can tell I love talking about this stuff. It's just,
it's like listening to you. It gets you kind of excited to hear about it.
Yeah. Well, and it's so different. And I don't know of too many people that do this work that come at it from a physics perspective. They want to make it. They want to make it more woo. Oh, I'm special. I have gifts. And I want to yell, BS. You do not. There's skills. These are abilities. You can hone them. And it really enhances and enriches your life.
Yeah. I love that. It seems like maybe you could write a fiction series starring somebody like you that's out there doing whatever.
Are you looking at my bulletin board? Is that what you're doing?
Is it on there?
No, well, both of the novels are the main character is a female that has intuitive abilities. And in one of them, they want her to go talk to aliens. Isn't that cute? I love that one. I can't wait to write it. I already have the whole outline done, but
I love that. Yeah, it seems like just you could take yourself basically and put yourself into different situations and write a really good story.
Yeah, but I want to make me younger and more beautiful.
Well, we all want
it. And more endowed. Yeah.
Well, why not? If you've got control over it, why not?
Why not, right?
If I wrote one, I would probably give myself back the 80s hair that I used to have.
Oh, that would be neat. You look good bald, though. You really do, because you have gorgeous eyes. You have gorgeous eyes.
Oh, that's so kind of you.
Hair would take away from your eyes. It would.
So. That's what I'm going to start telling people.
Okay, yeah. There you go.
I could have hair, but it'd take away from my eyes. So
it would.
Choose not to.
Right. There you go.
Well, Terri, thank you so much. This has been just the best. I knew it would be. I've been excited to speak with you since I started watching Paul T. Goldman.
Well,
Like,
it was
I need to
great.
talk to her.
It was great being here, and you're just it was just really great. You hit on all the high points, which I just really love.
Oh, terrific. I'm so glad. Well, we'll have more to talk about when you come back.
Okay, I hope so.
Okay, Terri, hold on one second. All right, so that was medium cowboy shaman Terri Jay. Hope you enjoyed that. So interesting. If you haven't watched Paul T. Goldman, it's on Peacock. It is worth your time. What a story! It's very twisty. It's got some humor in it, some drama. It's really good. The cast is great. We talked about Dee Wallace being on there, Frank Grillo's on there, Rosanna Arquette, Dennis Haysbert. It's really really good. So check that out, Paul T. Goldman on Peacock, and definitely check out Terri and her website. If you're struggling with something, then maybe that's something she can help you with. It's all on there. So take a look. It's a really good website. If you're joining us for the first time and you enjoyed it, you liked the podcast, we could definitely use your support. Couple easy ways you can do that. If you prefer to watch, we're on YouTube under MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you hit that subscribe button. Just subscribe to us. Really helps us out. It's free. Gives you access to all the video content that we have. If you're listening, wherever you listen to your podcast at, whatever app you're using, just subscribe there. Helps us just as much. Same thing. It's free. You can find, we are up to 517 episodes. You can find all of those audio and video on our website, meistercon.com. It'll also let you know if we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, if we're covering a convention, whatever we have going on, it'll be on the website, meistercon.com. So definitely check us out there. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.